Hey, it's 10 a.m. and this is Utah's best sports radio.
Say my name.
You're locked on to Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb.
You're damn right.
Presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Lloyd's setting the bar a little low today. Usually he says top 5 show, and it's like, yeah, if we could be in the top 10, that would be great. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Scott Garrard, the coach, Tim LaComb. Coach, let's get it. How are you?
Good, man. What's up? I got my Mammoth.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, bring the juice today. It's a big one.
I needed to get a sweater, a Mammoth sweater. I've been kind of holding out hope to see if my guy Yamamoto gets a new contract, because that's the jersey me and my boy are all in on. But you don't want to get a jersey unless you know the guy's going to be around for a while. So
you're going to wait for the.
So got to wait till the off season. But
that's smart. That's a prudent play.
Yeah. But look, if I can snag a jersey and have it on before the end of the show, I'll make it happen.
That's awesome.
I just need somebody to bring one down.
Yeah, bring one down, and preferably one that's signed through.
Yes.
A few years.
I'll Venmo you when you bring it down. How about that?
Yeah, and they should stop by. We're on remote today.
I know. We are down in Linden, and a place you are very, very familiar with.
Yeah, Next Gen Motors, and I'm not familiar with this new spot.
Yeah, this is beautiful,
unbelievable. If you've been to Linden on State Street, the old Low Book Sales, Next Gen purchased that, and it's 3 times larger than the old facility, and it is an awesome. It's got everything you need. If you need to buy a car, if you need to get a car repaired, if you need some parts, they've got everything here. So we're excited to be here today, and excited to get into their concept and talk about why Next Gen is having so much success in the car world right now.
Let's make it happen, too. So come on by, hang out. We'll be here until 2 o'clock this afternoon. But here in Linden, it is just a beautiful facility here at Next Gen Motors. All right, so a lot of talk today about the NHL, as it is a massive Game 6. Winner moves on. I mean, if the Mammoth get the win, they'll move on to Game 7 in Las Vegas. If the Golden Knights get the win, then they move on to the next round. So it's a must-win, to say the least, for the Mammoth.
They say do or die.
Do or die.
Right? And I said yesterday, they joke on inside the NBA all the time. When a team loses, they're off to Cancun.
Yeah.
I don't know if the NHL, you go up to Lake Winnipesaukee or wherever you go up in Canada, Saskatchewan, some of the outer regions. But, man, I guarantee it's somewhere, because you're not in the playoffs no more.
No more. Hey, it's one of those things where I got to imagine when you're a coach going into the NCAA tournament, it's one and done. Do you, from a coaching standpoint, do you treat that any different? Do you address it any differently with your guys?
I think it goes without saying. So I think the more you talk about it, you freak people out. And so it's probably more important to focus on the things. Like, I think the Mammoth probably spend a lot of time on trying to figure out how to break through on the power play.
Yeah.
That's been a big, huge issue. Right now, Vegas has a 92% penalty kill percentage. And so the Mammoth have got to break through on the power play. But you get more into what's causing us such pain right now in the series. Where are we having success? Let's lean into that. But some of these crucial passes, the plays between Veggie and him passing it either direct or out on the board. All those things are the things that have been causing them issues, turnovers at inopportune times. So tighten up mistakes, drills, things like that. But at the end of the day, the guys know that if you don't win today, you clean out your locker.
Yeah, it's on, and there's always that vibe too that I think it really resonates with the team, coaching staff, but in particular players on a team, when you realize no team runs it all the way back completely the next year. There's always some level of movement. At the college ranks, at the professional ranks, you look around and you're like, this is going to change in some way, shape, or form. And what we've built and what we've experienced over the last 7-8 months is going to get turned up. It could be some minor changes. It could be some major changes. But that's always a weird feeling, realizing, hey, this isn't going to get run back next year in its complete form. So let's enjoy this while we can and make it last as long as it can.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that people need to remember, this series has been very momentum filled.
Oh yeah.
I mean, inside each game, it seems like there's 3 or 4 games played. So there's a ton of hockey left to have one game tonight, and then as I said yesterday, the beautiful part of the way this series is set up, if they win a game, then obviously Vegas has the advantage of going back, but then Utah has the momentum advantage and has proven that they can play right with the Knights. If they could have 52 more seconds, had 2 wins down
52 seconds
there. Yeah, I looked right at the clock right when I was just like, oh my gosh, one or two more clears, but it is what it is. So you're close, and tonight, there is no other option. You got to go through one door to get to the next.
All right, so I've got some thoughts on today because, look, we can break it down, and we will. We'll go X's and O's on this thing, but ultimately, it just comes down to some good vibes. And one of the reasons I love working with Coach, and not just over the last couple of weeks, but since he was coaching at BYU, and we interact down there, is a certain level of positivity you just don't get from a normal person. And I admire that because I used to be that way, and then Lloyd beat it out of me. So I am pretty much a negative person now.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. It was me, right?
And,
right.
You're the problem.
And so
Lloyd.
that's the thing.
Yep.
I'm trying to protect Coach in his positivity as much as he can. And how do we do that? Well, we can't let that light hide under a bushel. No. We got to let that thing. It's a good vibes day today. And so essentially, if you have something going on in your life, you need some good vibes out there. You got a big job interview coming up. You got something going on in your life. And you need a little good vibes heading not only for you, but the Mammoth tonight to stay alive, at least for one more game. Tweet at us, at Scotty G Zone, at T LaComb, at Lloyd Colzone. And you can, whatever you need in your life, whatever good things you've got going on, let us know. If you do need a little bit of a shout out, we got you. But I want it to be a good vibe Friday today because no negativity on this show today. We'll talk a little bit about the power play and it's how atrocious it's been. But for the most part, we're putting good karma out on the air today. Nothing but good stuff.
But the power play piece is fact. That's not any, and I think Bear would say it. I think. But the beautiful part of that, Scotty, is it's not like it's the end of the season and you have to just sit on that.
Yes,
something can be done about it, and if they could break through tonight. First of all, creating some penalties with their speed, baiting some penalties, as they say, and I loved watching that happen. With you get an advantage, a guy reaches in and gets a piece of the skate and yanks you down. So certainly the Mammoth have got to draw penalties, but then, man, once we get them, I mean, the 4-minute penalty the other night just broke my heart. Because I thought 4 minutes, we're going to find a way here.
Yeah, they're going to come away with a singular goal. And the fact is, when those 4 minutes were over, the Mammoth actually played better. There was another one in the third period where they drew a 2-minute penalty, and they actually came out firing. It's almost as if the pressure was lifted from them. Like, I think they feel such intense pressure to score on power plays now that when Vegas ultimately kills it, which they have for the majority of the series, then Utah's like, all right, well, fine, we got that over with. Yeah, we blew another opportunity, but let's get back at it. And then they actually start playing better on 5-on-5, which makes zero sense. But I don't know if it's the pressure of trying so desperately to score in a power play because you haven't been good at it and it's a point of emphasis and everybody's talking about it. And so when that gets lifted and you screw it up and you're like, all right, well, let's get after it now, folks, because we can't score on a power play, but we can score 5-on-5, so let's let it fly. It just makes zero sense. But you know what? Tonight it changes. Tonight, all right, here's my first good vibe of the show today. Tonight, Utah will score on a power play.
I've had that same feeling. At least one.
At least one. Lloyd's going to join us on that too. Right, Lloyd?
Well, they're due for it.
See?
And so with every piece of bad news,
that's the positivity right there.
Yeah, that's where you got it from.
Yeah.
It'd be about time.
With every piece of bad news, we talked about how hard it's been. Their penalty kill's been great. And, and the fact that it's been great has been the reason why this has been a close series because they're 83%. And that is an area coming to the series and this season that Vegas was elite. They're elite in the power play. So that is at least a good thing that's been happening. So we just got to get a couple power play opportunities and knock one of them in.
Second good vibe. Utah will not give up a goal on a power play. Their penalty kill will be perfect tonight. And again, this just shows
do you mean when the other team's on the power, or when they're actually on a power play, so they're not going to give up a shorty? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no. Well, okay, I will say that too. They will not give up a shorty tonight, and Vegas will not score on a power play. So on their own power play. So when Utah's in a penalty kill, they'll be perfect tonight. But I mean, Lloyd jokes about the shorty. In overtime, I think it was the first overtime, they had to kill a 2-minute penalty, and they did it. And then so you kill the penalty, but then you give up the game-winning goal on a shorty. Again, makes zero sense.
But that's the statistics of this series have been a little bit wacky.
Everything's been wacky about this series. I'm so fired up for this game, though. I'm fired up for the atmosphere, what it's going to be tonight, and obviously this fan base isn't going out without a fight.
But they're going to need everybody tonight, and even if you don't have tickets, get down there and rally outside. I am a big believer in energy, man.
Yeah. And
we do know this place rallies and supports like no other. So, as I said, there's no other option that's acceptable tonight. We got to figure out a way to get the dub.
Certainly, I love Utah's physicality in this series. I love that after Game 1, in which the Mammoth got essentially hit into oblivion by this Vegas team, they have been every bit the aggressor in this series. And I admire the heck out of them and what they've been able to accomplish in that regard. That has to continue tonight. You cannot allow yourself to get bullied because Vegas is going to be the same team regardless. Whether you're smacking them around or whether you're not, they're going to still bring the physicality regardless. So you have to match that level of physicality, and in some cases you have to exceed it. Because that's going to be a constant. That's their MO. That's who they are. Utah's still learning how to be physical from a game to game, and for the most part in this series, they've been phenomenal in that. You can't go backwards in that. And I will also say, too, really important part, you got to play well right out of the gate. Utah seems like they've been starting behind the 8 ball in these games throughout the course of the series, and then they finally find a way to right the ship a bit. Can't do that tonight. Right out of the gate, like they did in game number 3, score early.
Score.
Yep, they took that 2-0 lead at the end of the first period, and it's like Vegas was like, yeah, we got no interest in being around here. If you set the tone early, I think you can make Vegas be like, all right, we'll let them have this one. We'll get them down in game 7. But if you set the scene early on and you make Vegas really feel like, okay, this crowd's crazy, these guys are all fired up. This place is nuts. Let's just stay healthy. Let's get out of here, and we'll beat them up in game number 7. Just if you can set that tone early and get that in their minds, you're going to be in good shape.
And the other thing I think was important, I think the difference in pace between game 4 and game 5. Vegas was really able to kind of pin the puck and keep it in the zone. And while they weren't necessarily, firing shots all that time, it just wore the Mammoth down. I felt like in game 5, the Mammoth got out and were able to open the game up. And it was a more frenetic back and forth pace. I think that favors the Mammoth, but that's where details come in. Yeah. That's where, Veggie getting one and making a good pass, the pass being received and moved out of the zone. Also, just we saw the Uyghur turnover. Those turnovers at the blue line or in the neutral zone, those have been killers in this series. So eliminate the minor mistakes that have been major, because they haven't been often. They've just been a little sporadic.
Worse timing too.
But that's where Vegas, because they're experienced, they jump on it like they see that blood in the water, and they've been able to answer. So I think being able to get out in front, like you said, and then keep that momentum by staying on attack.
It's going to be a great atmosphere, and remember, you'll hear it coming up tonight right here on The Zone, your official radio play-by-play home of the Utah Mammoths right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Mammoth and Golden Knights coming up tonight, and if the Mammoth can win, they'll force a Game 7. If they lose, then Golden State moves on, and then we are officially in off-season mode, and I think I can speak for everyone when I say nobody really wants that right now. Nobody wants any part of that right now. No off-season. Keep it rolling as long as you possibly can, And let's see this Game 7 coming up because Nate doesn't know this, Lloyd, but Nate, in the back of his mind, I already feel the vibes, has already given us an opportunity to go to Vegas.
The nod on the 7th?
Like he's already said, if there's a Game 7, you guys take the show on the road.
Well, again, I'll follow your lead, but I did watch some clips of The Hangover, and I do think, Lloyd, you and I could definitely fill those three characters.
We're the three best friends that anyone's ever had.
I can wear the baby sling. I'm that guy.
And the thing is, you have a grandkid
table,
that you
Carlos.
can actually bring.
Actually, true. I could bring one of the twins.
You can bring one of the twins.
we don't even need to negotiate. I can just bring Della or Maeve.
Oh man, it's been a minute since I've seen that. I got to go back and watch that.
Oh man, I thought of that the other day. I thought that would actually be for the media days. We should go down there in uniform.
This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
He and the coach, Tim LaComb. Presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It's a Good Vibe Friday where, let's be honest, nothing but good vibes out there. Nothing but getting you fired up for a game tonight. Colton tweets in, good vibes for a new job position soon, a dominating Mammoth win, and the lottery ball is going the Jazz way. Now, Colton, I don't know if you just got a new job or if you're looking for a new job. Either way, Coach, sending good vibes to our guy, Colton.
Colton, I just responded with some magic dust.
There you go.
A little bit of magic
dust. Go get that job.
And Colton, you'll get it. I think I know who Colton is. He's a sharp young lad.
Yes.
Got a lot going for him. I think that's the thing you got to dig into on a Friday. Look outside right now.
Not a cloud in the sky.
We are so fortunate to have the time we got. So Colton, dig in and go get it.
Go get that job.
You can get it.
Tyler said it's a Good Vibe Friday when we have a big game tonight. Me and the 9-year-old boys cooking some T-bones while the girls go to some movie about a devil in Prada. Bring on a boys' night. Tusks up.
I'm with you on boys' night, and Tusks are up. Who's going to the game tonight? Lloyd, are you going?
I am not going to the game tonight.
Lloyd, you sent out a text. Am I going?
You are going.
Oh, okay.
You are.
So I will be there.
I got you. Yes, I got you a spot.
Are you covering it?
I will be covering it.
Scotty is
covering it, correct?
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
I like we got to have the verbiage correct. Communication's important. They talk about it on the ice.
Yes.
They talk about it on the court. Man, is it important in a studio?
Which is funny because we're in the communication business. I don't think there's a group of people less qualified to communicate than we are.
Well, I think you and Lloyd, for sure.
It's so true.
You are the worst. No, I'm just kidding.
You're not kidding.
This is an airing of grievances. This is not.
No. This is a good vibe today.
This is good vibe. We're airing grievances.
Airing of grievances on Sunday.
That'll be in the middle of the summer. Nothing's going on.
I got some stuff I want to talk about. Hey, you talk about communication. You talk about not making mistakes, things along those lines. I thought this was a really good point. Lloyd brought this up to me during the break. André Tourigny was on with Jake and Ben yesterday afternoon, and they asked him about the Uyghur mistake that ultimately led to a situation where, you give up the shorty. And how do you address that? And I loved André Tourigny's answer to this.
If it's a mistake of a decision, okay, that will happen. I think that's the one I like to address. When it's an execution one, the puck kind of a slip on his stick. It was on the power play. He was skating backward and give a breakaway. It's not what you want, but execution will happen. It's like you're in the house, you drop a glass, you broke a glass, and your wife starts to yell at you. Do you think you meant to drop the glass, to do a mess in the kitchen? No. You just dropped the glass. That stuff happened. It's not what you wanted to do. And obviously, there's moments who are worse than others. So in second overtime in a playoff game, it's probably a worse. But he did not mean to do it. For me, that was not a decision. It's an execution one. It's different. So if you decide to take a risk and start to flip the glass in the air and you drop it, okay, that was probably not your best move. That was probably not smart. But if it's an execution one, it's different. So that's my comparison. I think Weeks on that play did not mean to make a mistake. It's not a bad decision. He fumbled the puck. Stuff happened. It is what it is. I think there's more in the game when you take a bad decision and then bad coverage or you make a bad read or stuff like that. That is more unfortunate to me.
It's the greatest answer to any question I've ever heard.
We definitely that needs to stick around.
We're going to stick that, yes, because that was as good of a response as anything I've ever heard. Because, look, and as a coach, that's got to resonate with you. Because sometimes, you're just in the kitchen, you grab a glass, you drop it, it breaks. Your wife's like, why'd you do that? Well, it's not like I wanted to do that. If you're over there spinning and trying to juggle 3, glasses, then one falls, then it's like, okay, yeah, I screwed up. That one's on me. But, just a slip of the hand or whatever the case might be, it's not really your fault. You just screwed up. We can move on.
Yeah, and I think to be able to put it into such clear terms that everybody understands tells you what kind of coach Bear is. Because 80-90% of coaching is being able to, 10% of it really is coming up with the schemes. Everybody's got the schemes, and there's nothing out there that's necessarily way, way different, right? You've got a handful of things to pick on, and then you really work on it. The majority of this stuff is honestly, it's how to communicate that to your team in a way that they'll A, understand it, and B, implement it. You've got when I was a young coach, I used to just love to go in and try to show how much I knew. Are you talking about the pin down or, but at the end of the day, nobody learns anything. It's just one person shouting how much they know. So a coach's biggest job is to take that nuance that you really want out of your guys and somehow implant that into their DNA. And that's over the course of a season, that's what you're trying to do. That little excerpt to me is gold because, we're sitting here and we get it. I mean, It makes total sense. Like Uyghur I said it yesterday, he's made that play thousands of times, retrieving a puck, literally retrieving it, and just slips off his stick. So that would be akin to dropping the glass. I mean, it wasn't like I'm going to turn this over because I want the game to end.
Yeah.
And obviously there's other times where guys go off script, and you hear that often where they leave a zone they shouldn't leave. That's like flipping the glass around.
Yeah.
And so I think he put that in great terms.
Well, there was Jay Stevens brought this up. I don't know if it was with us yesterday or on our post game, but he mentioned that he was at a practice and there was a player that was about 3 feet away from where he needed to be to set up this play. And Bear Tierney just tears him a new one. And he goes, you need to be here. And the player is like, I thought I was. Well, okay, that's an execution issue. You not knowing where you're at on the ice. If it gives up a goal, then that's something that you're going to go into the film room and you're going to be like, hey, moron, you can't be doing that. You know where you're supposed to be. You screwed it up. You were in the wrong place. That's unacceptable at this point in the season and this point in your career. However, if there's a guy that, slips on ice or the puck goes off his stick, and it's a once in a million, but just the worst timing possible, you're like, man, that's some bad luck. But, it happens. That happens in December, and everybody's like, well, that was weird. And then they don't think about it again. It happens in the second overtime of a Game 5 on the road when you have a chance to go up 3-2. People are going to talk about that. Unfortunately, it's the same mistake, but there you go.
Yeah, and honestly, the beautiful part about it for Uyghur, again, it didn't end it. It wasn't a situation where that was the series. So they can still come out and, like Bear said, try to eliminate those types of mistakes, try to really be focused in those intense moments to be able to make the execution plays you need to make. And then, honestly, dude, like you're at home.
Yeah.
Let it ride. You're not trying to protect anything. Go out there like you did in Game 5 and set the tempo and set the pace. Get this thing going up and down. And if it has to be a high-scoring affair, so be it. But the Mammoth strength, there is no question. I heard it a million times in the broadcast the other night on TNT. It's their pace, their skill, and their skating speed.
Yes.
Those are the things that come off the page. So at home, they need to figure out a way to get the game that way.
Is there the one thing that concerns me, too, is, and this is why I brought up in our first segment, you talk about the fact, hey, if you lose this game, you're going home. I don't think you address that. I don't even think you talk about that because I think that puts you in a situation for those little mistakes that we talk about with Uyghur to happen more often when guys have so much pressure on them and they're like every little pass, every little accepted pass, every little outlet feels like it's the weight of the world coming down on you, and that's tough to perform under that type of pressure.
No, it totally is, and honestly, inherently, it'd be like me saying to you and Lloyd, hey, guys, this show ends at 2:00. I mean, you already know.
Yeah.
You don't need to drive that point home. You need to drive another point home.
Yeah.
And, so, to me, that is not – there's no upside in any of that. It's do or die. Everybody gets it. So how do we make it do, not die?
How do you – Do you identify pretty quickly as a coach how to motivate guys? Because you have to do it differently for everybody, right?
You do. I think that has become more a thing lately.
Yeah.
More over the last 10 or so years. When I was a kid, they didn't care.
Oh, yeah.
You know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't, no, wait, I'm allergic to grass. Well, you still got to get in the tackling drill.
Yeah,
You know?
sorry.
I mean, if you're going to play football, there were not a lot of accommodations made back then. So now, I mean, but psychology would be such, it's great. I think we should treat people differently, and people do react way different. I remember having a player take me aside after a game, and I was really grateful for it because, my first instinct was to be fairly intense, especially on things that I felt like we did a great job focusing on, and then, whatever. But I would tend to lead with some aggression.
Yeah.
I don't know, that probably surprises you, and some intensity, like instead of just saying, "Hey, next time." So great call out. Pulled me aside and said, "Coach, I really don't perform well when you look like you're going to kill me.
Yeah.
So can you back off of that and talk to me differently?" And I was appreciative of it. So yeah, you do. You have to approach everybody differently. You have to know what makes them tick. But these dudes are competitors in their heart, and this is the playoffs. This is where it was yesterday, or Bill said it the other day, that Armstrong said these guys have been dreaming about this, these young guys, and they're here now. So, leave all the other stuff aside, and I do still think the positive in this is if you watch the series, it's a coin flip.
Oh, yeah. And that's what's made this thing so much fun. All right, 97.5 DKSL Sports Zone, what you may have missed, coming up next, right here on The Zone.
The best sports radio in Utah is right here, right here. This is Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
What you may have missed right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right, NBA playoffs last night. Despite a furious fourth-quarter rally, the Knicks fall to the Hawks fall to the New York Knicks, 140-89.
It was really tight.
Atlanta outscored the Knicks by 2 in the fourth quarter, 25-23. At halftime of this game, it was 83-36. Quinn, what's going on, buddy? You can't be losing a game like that. It's one thing to lose, but geez.
He looks more and more like the doctor from He looks like Mr. Peabody with the crazy hair and the big old glasses. No, dude, I'm surprised. I said the other day, Atlanta kind of had some mojo, but that game, the last two games, New York just kind of bowed their neck and won the game. Brunson was great. I thought that really, if you look at the way the ball moved, the way they shot it in the last two games, the Knicks, they were right there on the verge, but they answered and they'll move on.
Are you surprised? I mean, we saw him, torch the Jazz in a playoff series, and then he goes to New York. It's like, okay, can he really be the guy at that size? Can he really be taking over a franchise where it's going to be the spotlight is red hot? They're going to expect him to be the guy. They're paying him to be the guy. I think all of us thought that was an overpay on the Knicks' part, and he not only has been up for the challenge, but then some. He's just been absolutely phenomenal for them.
And honestly, it's one of those guys who we talked about it this week a lot, where he was not expected to be this good.
No.
He was taken 33rd in the 2018 draft, had a great career at Villanova. But I think it's one of those guys that people all his career said he's too small, he's this, he's that. What we see in this guy is incredible will. He's a supreme competitor. And yeah, I think he caught my attention going head-to-head and just winning every battle against the Jazz in that series and really kind of outclassing Donovan Mitchell in the process. And then he's just gone on to continue to be that guy. So more power to him, man. It's his world. New York's his town.
76ers have now reeled off a couple. They have now tied the series with the Boston Celtics, 106-93. That series will shift back to Boston for game number 7. But if you're a Celtics fan, are you nervous about this one?
For sure. I mean, you don't have to look much beyond, the three-point shooting. And in the 3 games that the Celtics have lost, they were 13 for 50 in one, 12 for 41 in the other, and 11 for 39. They're kind of a team that's going to go by that three-point shot, or they need some superhuman play from Brown and Tatum. And last night, Brown was both Brown and Tatum were limited last night. And so I think it's what was it? I'm trying to look right here. Brown had 18 points and Tatum had 17.
Yeah.
So they've got to do more than that. And then the supporting cast was pretty much non-existent.
I mean, you got Maxey scoring 30. And
yeah,
then
he's unbelievable.
And then you got Embiid, who all of a sudden has caught his second wind since coming back. So it's like, okay, Philly's not messing around here. And then ding dong, the Nuggets are dead. Timberwolves, their JV team with all the injuries they're dealing with, and Jaden McDaniels end up getting the win there, 110-98. So Denver is done and closed the book on this iteration of the Denver Nuggets. They're done. And I don't know how they'll retool somehow around Jokic, but that team needs a complete overhaul because what they have now is just simply not enough.
No, it's not.
A triple-double from our guy Gobert, by the way. How about that?
Yeah,
absolutely. And honestly, what a series for Gobert. You got to give the dude his flowers. I know Shaq won't, but we will. He has not had a great track record in the playoffs throughout his career. Oftentimes being played off the floor in series where they just have to, go a different direction. He was awesome, and he was a huge reason why, especially with Ant being out with injury, keeping that team together.
So afterwards, they asked Jokic if there's changes that need to be made. He said, "That's not my decision, to be honest. What I do know is if we were all in Serbia, we would all be fired."
Yeah, or one of them may be out and not just get lost, taken to another village, and like, whatever happened to Guido?
I think his definition of fired is a little different than. I think when he says fired, he means firing squad. But,
right. Absolutely. 100% right. But the interesting thing about that, last year Denver makes the move to get rid of Mike. I call him Mike. Mike Malone. He prefers Michael. But, a proven guy, won a title. And, in a really snap decision, they get rid of him, bring in David Adelman, who resembles Mad Magazine's Alfred E. Newman. Just throw a Denver Nugget shirt on Al. But I would say his tenure is in peril.
Well, you got Mike Malone rolling on a bed of money in Chapel Hill like Demi Moore in that movie, and it's just like, I could get used to this and loving every second of it.
And he's saying, I could just travel within my geographic region, and there's only 38 games at the most. I'm in.
Yeah, sign me up for this. Travis Yost, NHL writer for TSN, joins us next right here on The Zone.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The biggest name.
You're locked on to Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, it's a Good Vibe Friday. Mammoth trying to keep their season alive. Big one tonight against the Vegas Golden Knights. And look, these tickets are like cigarettes in prison. People want them. They're willing to do anything to get them. So what we're doing here on The Zone is we're giving away tickets. I've got a pair of tickets. Now, all you have to do is go to our website, KSLSports.com. There's a Enter to Win button there where you can go online. Also, we'll have our booth set up at the plaza, so you can go there. There'll be a QR code. You can scan it and take a gander at all the things down there, and your chance to win will be there. But we've got a pair of tickets we'll be giving away today. All right, Travis Yost joins us now, NHL writer for TSN. Travis, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing today?
We're doing better than the Mammoth were in the second overtime, giving up a shorty to lose a game. You don't see that very often, and a tough way for this team to lose and be down 3-2.
Yeah, no kidding. And I can give it to you one way or the other way. Which way do you want to be more frustrated? So I'll give you two options. Option A is Utah has outscored Vegas 16-12 at even strength in this series, yet they're down 3-2, and it's because they have blown not one but two consecutive third-period leads. So that's option A. Option B is, well, how are they down again? Well, here's another stat. Vegas's penalty kill has outscored Utah 2-1 in this series. That is a blinking red lights problem, and you hear both of those, and you're like, yeah, like you watch these games, Utah is every bit in this series. And, yeah, the daylight between these two teams is basically non-existent. But when you look at the power play ineffectiveness and the two blown leads in Games 4 and Game 5, I worry that, we're only maybe a few days removed, if not one day removed, from Mammoth fans wondering what could have been, because I still think this is a winnable series, but they certainly are the underdog at this point now.
In your opinion, what is because I'm right there with you. We've been talking. This is a coin flip. It seems like going every night. But in the guts of the game, particularly the last game, the way the Mammoth got the pace the way they wanted it, were able to kind of break out of some of that physicality. But is it just in those moments? Is it the pressure? Is it the first time for this group? I mean, do you think that's what the difference has been?
I didn't think that at all until Game 5. And the reason why I say that, this is like a classic, like Vegas, this year and even in years prior, certainly in years prior, they may be one of the best forechecking teams in the league. They play super physical in all the right ways. It's not just they're looking to fight you after the whistle. I mean, they're just going to forecheck you to the nth degree, and they've got plenty of talent and firepower, just like Utah, where they can be a really effective playoff team. We've seen this for many years. That was not working, and it's, in my opinion, still is not working with Utah. Utah has been very game to the physical side of this. They have not been bullied for 1 second in this series, and I think that's a huge testament to the Mammoth. And moreover, by the way, they've not only not been startled by the physicality, they've kind of, Utah's played into their own strength, especially at 5-on-5, which is, you're going to play physical, but we can get up and down the ice faster. We have more dynamic players at the top of our lineup, and we can take the pace of the game to you, Vegas. And by the way, again, Utah has done that in spades. The reason why I say until Game 5, bit of a concerning development, I thought, for Utah, was the first time where I thought the penalties that they were taking were not, the helter-skelter, the scrambling to get into defensive, positioning, the, honest accidental mistake, whatever you want to call it. I saw some frustration penalties there. Logan Cooley's certainly in that group, and he might have been the best player on both sides through the first 4 games, but you cannot at this point in the series, especially when you're playing a team at least on par with you in terms of talent, and also a team that carried one of the league's best power plays through the entire regular season. You cannot give a team 4, 5, 6 power plays. You're going to pay for it. It's kind of ironic that they ended up losing the game while they were up a man. But, all that time that they spend killing penalties, what shouldn't be lost on anyone is even a perfect penalty kill. A perfect penalty kill is just keeping the other team from scoring. It very rarely means you're actually driving scoring in your own right. And so those are all lost minutes and lost opportunities for Utah. So I am confident that maybe at the top of the list of talking points for the coaching staff going into Game 5 is I need you guys to play physical, but I need you to play, stay within the boundaries of what is or is not going to be called. But because we cannot spend another night in the penalty box, we're going to pay for it if we do.
I think that's a really good point, too, because a lot of Mammoth fans and, media that, frankly, are still trying to pick up on the sport here a little bit, puff their chests out a little bit with the penalty kill that the Mammoth have had, especially with that 4-minute penalty kill and the 2-minute one in overtime. But you don't really think about the opportunity costs, that it's costing you opportunities on the offensive side to get goals. And so when you look at this Mammoth team, the frustration, sometimes are you concerned at this point that the youth might be rearing its ugly head in this thing?
I am on watch. There's a saying about, one's a dot, but 2 and 3, you get to a line and a trend. And I think the big concern tonight is, you hope that playing in front of the home crowd, knowing that you're 2 wins away from advancing still, you hope that it's a one-off. And by the way, I think one benefit here is Logan Cooley is a star bordering, trying to punch his way up to superstar status. He's probably on the short list of guys that you pull him into a room for 45 seconds and it's like, I need the best version of Logan Cooley. I need the player who is the best player on the ice for the first 4 games. And by the way, it's not to even isolate him. He had several teammates in the penalty box on Game 5. But if your best players are playing a little bit, veering a little bit more towards undisciplined play, that can bleed across the entire team. And again, there's no daylight between these two teams. To your point, by the way, the opportunity cost is real, but also that 16 to 12 goal differential that Utah's outscored Vegas, it gets washed away entirely when you bring in special teams. Vegas has outscored Utah 3-0 on the power play. Utah's been outscored on their own power play. They're basically net on net. Special teams, the Mammoth are down 4 goals to the Golden Knights in this series. So effectively, your goals are break even through 5 games, and that's how you take a team that looks like the better of the two teams at 5-on-5, and you wash that away because they're losing the special teams minutes right now.
Travis, I read your article the other day on, I guess it was 4 days ago, about Edmonton being in big trouble, and I guess they are headed to. Where do you go? We were talking about that earlier. NBA goes to Cancun. What's the lake in Canada?
Well, they got Banff, right? Banff is like Tahoe,
Banff.
right?
Let's go to Banff.
Can get
there you
to
go.
Banff. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Cool. But they're on their way, and will not be able to go to the Stanley Cup for the 3rd straight year. Surprised or not really by that?
Surprised. For my money, this was the one. It's the one result I got wrong. I did take Utah in 7 in this series, so there's a chance I get that one wrong too. But I think I'm justified. That series has been like razor-thin margins. Edmonton was not the better team in that Anaheim series, and it's an easy thing to say when Anaheim wins in 6. But the reason I wrote the article on Monday is the numbers were jarring. This wasn't an Edmonton team that was skating Anaheim up and down the rink and just getting terrible goaltending or some maybe poor puck luck. What was blinking red lights concern for me in the first 4 games of the series, and ultimately, Anaheim advances last night. It was the first time that I really can ever remember that the top of the Edmonton lineup was getting outplayed. And I'm talking about the McDavid line, and to a lesser extent the Draisaitl line, but definitely the McDavid line. Now, there is a lot of context there. We know Connor McDavid was playing hurt. We know Leon Draisaitl rushed back from an injury. So when you have a top-heavy team and your 2, Goliaths on your roster are both playing at less than 100%, yeah, that you expect a performance step back. But you have to give a lot of credit to the Ducks too here. I mean, they're young players, and Jackson LaComb on the first pairing, they completely bottled up that Edmonton supernova attack that we've watched go to the Stanley Cup 2 consecutive years. There is no team under more pressure on this offseason and organizationally speaking than the Edmonton Oilers. I remind anyone listening, Connor McDavid he signed an extension, but it was a short-term extension with Edmonton. It was I'm putting the organization on notice type of extension. He signed for 2 years, which is effectively 1. Because that second year comes around, if the Oilers do not win a Stanley Cup next year or do not show that they can at least return to a Stanley Cup next year, for the 27-28 season, the Oilers are going to be staring down the barrel of, we cannot lose Connor McDavid to free agency, to Vegas or Colorado, to San Jose for nothing. He must be traded. And by the way, as insane as it sounds to say that the bona fide, undisputed best hockey player on earth could be traded, a year and a half from now, he has been vocally and increasingly frustrated with the organization. I think the front office has done a horrifically poor job building around him, starting with the investments, and I put air quotes around investments in the goaltending position. And my underline here is there is a non-zero chance, 18 months from now, 12, 15, 18 months from now, we're talking about a potential Connor McDavid trade with some real meaning behind that. And if that's the case, if you're a team trading Connor McDavid, there is real no good short-term outcome here. And that to me is the biggest scare factor if you're an Oilers fan right now.
So, it's funny when you look at that situation and then you look at the quotes that Connor McDavid had last night in which he said, we are an average team right now. And when you drop lines like average, that is another shout out to the front office. Like, hey, you know what? We need to improve what's going on around here. But you mentioned Denver and you got the Avalanche that are just sitting back and just watching everybody just beat the crap out of each other. It's really their playoffs to lose, right? I mean, it just seems like they're so far ahead of everybody else.
It does. I would say I'm not, and I think we're looking way down the line here. And I've burned myself several times over being a perma bull around the Carolina Hurricanes, but I think Carolina could give them a great bit of trouble. I think that would be an incredible Stanley Cup, by the way, by the by. But in the Western Conference, yeah, I think this is Colorado's conference to lose. I will say this. I did take the Wild to beat the Stars in a bit of an upset in the first round. I think the Wild are a materially better team with Quinn Hughes on their top pair. That is not an easy matchup for Colorado. Colorado had as close to a literal layup as you can get playing that absolutely garbage LA team in the first round. Minnesota is not is a much better caliber team, and frankly, if you didn't see them, they slapped Dallas around. That series should have ended in less than 6 games. The Stars' power play kind of kept them in it, but that was a very one-sided series that ended up going 6. I think Colorado's approach to the series is going to be a lot different, too. I thought Colorado honestly put forward like a C-plus effort against the Kings, and they still swept them, which, by the way, is to your point, that's how good this Avalanche team is. But I do think the Wild can offer a serious pushback against them. So very interesting series to watch. And then, again, if you're Colorado, boy, would you love to see Utah pull this series out? Because, you deal with a pesky Minnesota team. Your Final Four is Colorado, Minnesota, and then 2 up-and-coming teams in Anaheim and Utah that are about as limited and light on playoff experience as you can possibly find. That would be a phenomenal setup for the Avalanche. By the way, Avalanche round 2 series odds are out. Odds makers are giving them like a 72% implied probability to win, so they're a pretty decisive favorite already.
So whether it's the Golden Knights or whether it's the Mammoth, what have you seen out of the Ducks so far in that 4-2 series victory over the Oilers?
What Anaheim did against Edmonton was very similar to what Utah's done successfully against Vegas, which is their young players have been their best players. And we talk a lot, and I think this is, sport agnostic, right? Especially in the NBA and NHL, though, where young players – I never really bought that players can be clutch and play above their, maximum, but I always bought that players can play below their capabilities, and younger players are certainly vulnerable to that. That's where I give Utah a lot of credit. One of the reasons why I was excited about the Mammoth season, why I think they can win still this series, even though they're down 3-2, is their young players and their best players have been the best players in the series, and they don't seem shy at all based on the opponent and Vegas's given track record. The same exact thing is true for the Anaheim Ducks. Troy Terry, Cutter Gauthier, Jackson LaComb, defenseman I mentioned earlier. These are all young players that Anaheim has been stocking for years, very similar to the Coyotes and Mammoth. And in the series against the Oilers, they were the reason, not just their scoring touch, but their ability to contain something that almost every team in the league has struggled to do, their ability to contain the line of Connor McDavid and the line of Leon Draisaitl. So whether it is, to your point, Anaheim or Utah, I have to acknowledge I may have underrated Anaheim a little bit because their young players look fantastic. They play with a lot of pace, and they've got good goaltending. I'm one, goaltending doesn't really ever shine in a series against Edmonton. They can score like nobody's business, but, Anaheim does have a pretty high-quality goaltender setup backstopping this young core, so they're going to be a pesky opponent independent of whether it's Vegas or Utah here.
Well, we're absolutely crazy about our Mammoth after 2 years, and I'm just curious, what's the word out there in the hockey, around hockey, about what's going on here in Utah? The early success, certainly the investment in a really, really great environment for hockey players. Are people taking notice of that?
I certainly think that's true, and I think there's 2 different elements of why people are buying in. Let me go to the organizational component first before I get to the lineup. If you put that game on, now I was at game 3, and I've been fortunate enough to go to many hockey arenas in my life, playoff games, Stanley Cup games. I mean, Delta Center was deafening. And don't get me wrong, they got the juice of I think the metaphor was cigarettes in prison. It's a perfect metaphor, right? It's like you've never been to a playoff hockey game ever in this city. So, the crowd's going to be electric. I get there's tailwinds there, but it feels like a Canadian atmosphere parked in a winter American city By the way, very similar to Vegas. I would say the exact same thing about the Golden Knights organization. They've put together now I think you can make an argument this is the best team, including the Coyotes, in the last 30 years. We talked about this last week. So there's a lot of wow, this team is a bona fide up-and-comer. They have punched Vegas back every which way, and Vegas is highly respected around the league. And, I watched Game 4 on TV, and the noise is deafening coming through my speakers. And I'm like, this just creates such an impression at a national level where there's tremendous fan and organizational buy-in. The other thing, too, give some love to the hockey nerds that you may know in your life, because the nerds love this Mammoth team. I think the stat folks who walk around this industry, I've been doing this almost 2 decades now. The Mammoth persistently for most of the year looked like a better team than their results actually showed, which is common in the NHL, that the standings can lie to you in both directions. The Mammoth always felt a little bit better than their record actually showed. One of the reasons, by the way, is, they're fourth in the division. Well, look at the teams they're looking at. The 3 of the top 6 teams in the league are also in the division. So you've kind of got this noise there that I think dilutes how good, the appreciation for how good this team is. But I think them, going toe-to-toe with this Vegas team already has kind of enshrined this as a real hockey team, real hockey organization long-term. But again, full circle, boy, would it be frustrating to lose this series given how this team has played in the first 5 games. And I worry that there is very much on the board here is it's going to be, wow, great season, unbelievable first crack at the barrel and in the playoffs, but we could have beat that team. I worry that we're going to be having that conversation shortly.
The analytic geeks always find a way to get themselves into everything, don't they? Hey, we appreciate your time. Thanks for hanging out. Glad you had a good time here in game number 3, and we need to get you back out here pretty soon.
Amen. Take care, guys.
There he is. Really fun conversation. Travis Yost, NHL writer for TSN, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I like the way he talked about our barn.
Yes.
In relation to others, maybe barn's going to become like QB room for me, but right now I'll use it.
The QB room just does not sit well with you. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's time to saddle up and talk about the winners and the losers. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, here's the good.
It is the good, the bad, and the ugly. But today, as it's a Good Vibe Friday, in hopes of securing some good karma for the Utah Mammoth in their Game 6 tonight, potential elimination game. If the Mammoth lose, they're done. So, to force a Game 7, they've got to come up with a good win, and they could use all the good karma. So we're putting out nothing but good vibes today on a Friday here with Scott Garrard and the coach Tim LaComb. So, with that, no good, bad, ugly. No, it is good, better, best, because no negativity out there today.
And one of the first good things is I forgot I had this shirt, but it's the clinic shirt from
If you're
camp.
on the YouTube channel, you can see Coach wearing a shirt that says Coach.
I just thought on remote, because people don't really see us, it's just a visual that they know,
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
How about now?
There we go.
All right.
Anyhow, but also my mom and, one of the things my mom said to me every time I left the house, don't forget who you are. So this helps me remember.
Yeah. I mean, there's some people that just know they're not particularly good human beings, and so they are that person.
So we need to get you one that has a Scotty across there. And then we'll sit here together and
yeah, just in case you're wondering who we are, which one's which. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they don't know.
Oh, no. It was always funny because people would come up and back on the old show, and they're like, "Okay, so which one of you played in the NFL?" It's like, really, you really need to take some time and ask us about that, or you just kind of take a quick look and you can tell which one of us.
That one's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
when you got the Incredible Hulk standing next to your average guy.
Yeah.
And then when you shake his hand, and he about breaks it.
Yeah, and he wraps it around twice.
He doesn't do that to me, though. He doesn't even go to handshake. He just gives me the smother.
The hug, yeah. Yep. I was talking to our guy last night.
He gives me the Hulk Hogan choke out.
Yeah, and he knows when to let go when you can't breathe anymore. Like, he's got a good Good chance.
But speaking of good vibes, that's a good dude on a good day, good vibes, and we're sticking with those.
So let's start with the good, and we mentioned him earlier in the show, but you couldn't be happier for Rudy Gobert. As Lloyd mentioned, a near triple-double, 10 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists. He also, 7 of those 13 rebounds actually came on the offensive glass. So the fact that he was able to have the night to go along with 2 block shots, but, I mean, my goodness, flirting around with a triple-double, just 2 assists away from Rudy Gobert, of all people, having a triple-double.
And I like the way, words work. So Rudy, you get Rudy Gobert, you get Rudy, the great vibe of that show. I like you're onto something, Rudy.
Yeah.
But I'm honestly so happy for him because I actually thought after watching Game 1, oh no, it's going to happen again. They're going to take advantage of him. But he definitely answered the call, and he outplayed Jokic. There's no question about it, and his team won.
So I also I respect guys. It's really easy for athletes to run their mouth and to talk smack. But I respect the guys that, 1, are willing to do it, and then 2, back it up. And Jaden McDaniels has been chirping this entire series. Remember, after Game 1 was just immediately or was it Game 2, said, yeah, you know what? They can't defend us. They're all bad defenders. I mean, they're going right at them saying, yeah, there's not a good defender on the team. Jokic can't defend. Go down the list. They're not good defenders. All we're going to do is just dribble and go right at them. We're going to drive on each and every one of them. And, I follow a bunch of people in the Denver media, and they're all like, bulletin board material, let's go. They woken up the Giant now. They're in trouble. And guess what? They just kept doing it, and Denver couldn't do a dang thing to stop it. Jaden McDaniels was 100% right. They can't defend. Minnesota knew it, and they didn't even care if they said it publicly.
And Chris Finch was asked about that last night, and he said, well, it's what he believed. And then they went out, to your point, and made it happen. It's always frustrating when somebody pops off and they don't have what it takes to back it up. But we even talked about it on that very day. He popped off, and we talked about it, and I said, he's actually right. I mean, at that point they had Ant, and at that point they had Dante, but they were just carving the Nuggets up. And I watched the Jazz, in the last couple of weeks of the season as Denver's trying to prep for a playoff run. And the Jazz just they picked them apart.
Yep.
Their defense was so bad. So it was not necessarily a surprise to me that Denver fizzled, and that fizzle was responsible, because of the defense. Again, a historic offense this year in net rating in terms of offensive rating. But defense, and that wins championships. You got to have a little of it anyway.
Minnesota had 3 double-figure scorers that were not available for them last night with injuries, and it didn't matter a lick. Didn't matter. It just really a tremendous performance by Minnesota. All right, so good, and now let's get to the better. Let's talk a little Major League Baseball. Your Giants had a day yesterday, Lloyd. You watched that doubleheader? The Philadelphia Phillies and the Giants playing in a doubleheader, and Philly got walk-off wins in both games. So in Game 1, in a 3-2 win, Brian Stott lined a tying triple with 1 out in the 9th, and then scored the winning run on a 2-out infield single by rookie Justin Crawford. So that's awesome. So let's play it back in Game 2. That was also a 6-5 win. Kyle Schwarber hit a tying double with 2 outs in the 9th, and then Alec Boehm walked it up with a sacrifice fly in the 10th inning. So both come from behind victories. In both games, the Giants had a lead in the 9th inning and gave it up and lost in walk-off fashion in back-to-back games of a doubleheader. First time this has happened. Surprisingly, I think you'd have to go back a little bit further, but it did happen back on May 28, 2004. But you are still 22 years. I'm still to think that 2004 actually wasn't that long ago. That still is 22.
I hear 1995, and I'm thinking, oh, yeah, it was just around the corner.
Yeah.
And then you look at my 30-year-old daughter and say, no, it wasn't. And the Phillies have been reeling, too.
Yeah, they're not good.
They got off to a bad start and have not been playing well. So, yeah, that is, is Lloyd's team the Giants?
It is the Giants.
Okay. I don't know if that works, though, because that's kind of a dig in the vibe.
Oh, yeah, but when you're going after the guy that usually doesn't bring good vibes,
Okay. Well,
I think that works.
About good vibes. What are you talking about? So that's what we're going to do? Okay.
oh no, this is
good
fizzling.
vibes are over.
The good vibes have ended.
He's going to go.
That didn't last very long.
You're going to back to Black Sabbath and the bumps.
Well, no more. No worries. Be happy. That finally came to an end. We're gonna have Beck's loser coming out of the next break. All right, there you go.
Directed at us.
Yeah, good, better, best, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We continue on. What's going to be a fun show? Craig Bolerjack's going to join us coming up a little bit later on in the program at 1:05. So Bowler will be at 12:05.
Oh, cool.
Cool. So we'll chat with Bowler coming up in about 20 minutes right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Accessing
The best radio in Utah is right here. This is Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. How can you not like this song? Katrina and the Wave, Walking on Sunshine?
Everything makes
Apparently,
me go.
Alex Napolis is not a fan of
This
this.
is just, like you talk about good vibes, you talk about happy.
Which is
By
so
the
weird,
way-
by the way, because Alex is such a good vibe guy. Like, he really is, too. Like, he is the anti-Lloyd Cole.
Yeah, have you seen the movie High Fidelity? You would love that movie.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's about a guy in a record store, owning a record store.
Oh, I got to see that.
But
Jake's told me about that.
But Jack Black is in it, and I like Jack Black in like small doses.
Right.
I don't want like large doses of Jack Black, but he's in this one, and it's one of his first roles. Was a nobody at the time, and he's got a scene where he's dancing to this song that is one of the funniest scenes of any movie I've seen.
And they use that in a lot of shows too. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's in some. It's definitely in some animated stuff.
Jake Scott has told you about two things: High Fidelity and The Simpsons.
No, he doesn't talk about The Simpsons.
Oh,
as much.
nobody talks about The Simpsons more than Jake Scott.
And Family Guy. He loves
And
Family Guy.
Guy.
It's Family Guy.
Yeah.
Family Guy. I get that one, and he actually got me on Arrested Development. I did watch that, and thank you, Jake, because that definitely was one of the better ones I've seen.
High Fidelity is probably in my top 5 movies of all time.
Okay, I'm going to go there for you. You're taking on some music. I'm sending you music. You guys send me some good, and then we'll reconnect.
As a music aficionado, you would love High Fidelity.
Cool.
Great show.
All right, I'm in.
Great show. All right, coming up a little bit later on in the program, we will talk to, actually, coming up in about 10 minutes, Craig Bolerjack will join us. Fridays with Bowler. It's a tradition like none other to be able to chat with Bowler. I mean, let's be honest here. He's one of the best dudes on the planet, and according to Alema Harrington, just had himself shoulder replacement, and that's not keeping our guy down. He's all about it.
I do a pretty good bowler.
Oh, yeah?
Scotty, Timmy, Scotty, good to be with you. Just out here, you know how he does. I can't do the whole thing, but I
mowing
can.
the lawn.
His little Scotty, Tim, bowler here, and hey, it's going to be an interesting summer for these Jazz.
That's perfect.
Just that little quick Bowler. Or no, Scotty, Tim. When he tells you to go to hell, that's a different level there, though.
Yeah, because he means it. And, you don't, I say go to hell, and you're like, everybody laughs. But Bowler tells you to go to hell, man.
That was a tough
You're
pill
on
to
the
swallow.
wrong. You're on the wrong side of the law.
That was a rough day. I don't know if Lloyd's got the cut or not, but that one, it took me a while to come back from that one. Alema Harrington's kind enough to join us. We are live here at Next Gen Motors.
Scotty?
Yeah.
Go to hell.
There it is. There it is.
Ooh, I felt the barb.
Wow.
There. Did you come back? You've come back from it.
We've mended,
years of therapy.
We've mended some fences. It took some moment, but we're in a good place now. I don't even remember what provoked that. But, Bowler is one of the nicest dudes. But once you get on his bad side,
I'll bet you that was. I bet that was a Denver,
you don't want to
Kansas
stay
City.
there.
Denver,
Could be.
Kansas City.
Could have been.
yeah. He
Yeah.
loves his Chiefs.
Yep.
He's been a big fan since Patrick Mahomes got drafted.
That's not fair. He might be listening right now.
Don't do this to Bowler right now. What are you doing? Boy, those good vibes just
Come
went.
on, man.
Scotty,
sorry.
Tim, Dilemma.
Go to hell. 97.5 DKSL Sports Zone.
This is Dilemma the Pirate. Shiver me timbers.
It's high noon up and down the Wasatch Front, and Scotty and the coach are just getting started.
What a series for Gobert. You got to give the dude his flowers. I know Shaq won't, but we will. He has not had a great track record in the playoffs throughout his career, oftentimes being played off the floor in series where they just have to, go a different direction.
So afterwards, they asked Jokic if there's changes that need to be made. He said, that's not my decision, to be honest. What I do know is if we were all in Serbia, we would all be fired.
Yeah, or, one of them may be out and not just get lost, taken to another village, and whatever happened to Guido?
I think his definition of fired is a little different than I think when he says fired, he means firing squad. But,
right. Absolutely.
This is Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. The great Craig Bolerjack expected to join us coming up here momentarily as we'll get Bowler's thoughts on the Jazz, the offseason, even maybe a little hockey talk with our guy.
Yeah, I'm sure he's proficient in all of the above.
Yeah. All right, here he is. It's the great Craig Bolerjack, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. Bowler, how are you?
Good. Scotty, Tim, what's up? Friday, it's here.
Yeah, no doubt. So we were just talking to Alema. Alema's hanging out with us. We're down here in Linden at Next Gen Motors. He mentioned you just went under the knife. How you doing?
Yeah, I was talking to Lloyd about it. It's just kind of I'm 10 days out. Just time to do another 60,000 mile checkup. But it is what it is. No, I'm doing better. Turning the corner. The initial phase is no fun, as people know, and just had to have it done. It was time. So it's better late than ever.
You said shoulder. Is that what you had done?
Yeah. Shoulders and knees are not my best friends.
Dude, I had a shoulder. I've already had my right one done, and it is, I'm with you. That is. We'll definitely keep you in our thoughts. It's not a fun thing. But today's good vibe day, Bowler. Today's good vibe day, and Alema is actually around, but he's not gonna, have a headset, so you'll be able to talk this week. Be able to get some words out.
Oh man!
So
I love it. I love it.
No, you watching this? You watching this hockey like everybody else?
Oh man, unbelievable! Late nights, I just sit down here in my office. My wife says she can't. She I'll make it through 2 periods. I said, okay, cool, and then she's out. But man, heartbreak. Great play. Overtime, back-to-back losses. The speed is incredible to watch of the Mammoth. In the size of the Vegas Knights, it's real. They can screen and block you out pretty doggone. Has an impact in that game and that series thus far. And I'm excited to see how if the Mammoth can't hang on and push it to a 7. They played really well. I don't know. I've learned a lot about hockey. Honestly, Kansas City had a little bit of a blip on the radar years and years and years ago. But I always watched the Stanley Cup Finals, but never really dove into, regular season games that much because it coincides with, the NBA and college basketball. But this year with, SEG Plus, when we're on the road, sometimes we had an off night. I'd plug in and watch, and Matt McConnell and those guys do a great job, and it's fun to listen to. And I've learned a lot, man. I think a lot of fans in the state and the city and beyond have too. We've had the Golden Eagles in the day with Art Teese. I remember those days very well. But and the Grizzlies. But it's this is like it's NHL, man. It's the highest of high levels, and it's fun to watch.
So your experience behind the mic is. It's not rivaled, and I know you've done arena football, NFL, NBA, obviously, college basketball. Have you ever done any hockey?
No, and I'll be honest, it's a special breed of individual who can pull this off on a nightly basis. I was just having some fun with it the other night, just trying to follow the puck. And, our seats around every arena is different. Look, in the old days, everybody was on the floor, and it makes it more difficult to be up and away at an angle. And, there's nights you have a hiccup and you get it. But hockey, I think it's an incredible profession. And the hand, I mean, think about it. They hand you a task of following a puck that moves at such a rapid speed. And, the one-timer is, 95 miles an hour? I mean, and then the crowd at the net. I mean, I don't know how the guys really do keep track of it. I'm sure they probably have tricks of the trade. But my next goal, I've asked, and Matt wants to come up to the booth with us sometimes, and I'd love to go over and catch a hockey game and watch how they do their job on a nightly basis. But it can't be easy. I know it's not easy. Remember with NHL, Tim and Scotty, when didn't they put like some sort of a microchip in the puck?
Yeah.
And so that fans were able to follow it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was where it kind of glowed.
Yeah,
make a streak.
Late '90s, I think it was a thing. It didn't last very long though.
It didn't catch on. I don't know if it was probably annoying to the fans at home watching, but I thought it was kind of an intriguing, idea to help us all watch where the puck's going. But yeah, it's fast and furious, and those guys are magicians on skates. Let's be honest. The speed and the grace. Come on. They're special athlete. They're something.
Bowler, it's Good Vibe Friday, so we're talking Mammoth. But I'm just going to throw, because this is a curiosity I have. What's the best concert you ever been to?
Oh, man.
Or you don't have to pick one. Maybe a couple. Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest. The first one I went to is a laugher because it shows you, the time and period of my life. But I talked my folks into loaning me $6 to go see Foghat in Kansas City my senior year. And I had to mow the lawn for I think my dad would give me a couple of bucks each time. I mowed the lawn just to be a good dude. But I had to do a month's worth of lawn mowing just to, to pay off the ticket. But that kind of introduced me, man, to the concert scene. I like it. I love concerts. I saw the Backstreet Boys just last summer at the Sphere, and I there you go. Yeah.
Oh, I hear it.
Yeah.
See, I knew it'd bring vibes. I didn't know what.
Oh, yeah.
You went with the right thing.
Slow ride. Take it easy.
I've seen Journey, Neil Diamond even. Yeah, there we go.
What did they do? Play that one and everybody left?
All right. Good night, everybody.
Show's over.
Yeah. It just replayed it over and over.
Good night. Yeah.
Go home. Show is over.
I tell you, Salt Lake does a great job bringing in a lot of different groups. Sandy Amphitheater. I'm going to go see, is it ABBA or ABBA? I always get into a conversation about ABBA.
I go with ABBA.
Yeah, ABBA. Yeah, it's the music of ABBA from Sweden. Saw those guys last summer. They did a great job. Chicago, Doobie Brothers. One group I wanted to see bad, but they had to cancel, was Aerosmith.
Oh, okay.
And never got a chance to see Steven Tyler do his thing. And, saw Elton John on his Yellow Brick Road farewell tour. That was amazing. Those are kind of like moments in time when you see the classic groups get together. They do stay together a long time, by the way. I mean, let's be honest.
After a turbulent stretch.
Got to get that money, man.
Got to get it while you can. And people love to go to concerts, indoor or out. And this outdoor season's always fun to get to.
So Hans and Buller would always get into a fight because for some reason, I don't know why, Hans hated ZZ Top. And it's not like he didn't like ZZ Top. He despised them.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I didn't get the malice.
But have you? I know you're a big fan. Have you seen ZZ Top in concert?
I have once, and they're coming again. So I'll be there. I think it's August. I just saw the tickets came available a
just
couple of
one
days
original
ago.
member though.
Yeah.
Dusty passed, and Frank's no longer banging on the drums. So
it's
the Reverend though, and the Reverend's got a lot of juice.
Well, that's the voice too that really just makes it hum. That's all I want to hear, and but yeah, he's got the tone still. Yeah, Dusty, sadly, the bass player passed away. Was it a couple of years ago now already?
Yep, that's
right. And they
right.
kind of pulled off the road and they kind of redid things, and they're back at it. So I'm anxious to hear the sound. I am.
Rest in peace, Dusty Hill.
The great Greg Bolerjack joining us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Bowler, this is a really fascinating draft. The Jazz have put themselves in a position because, they were able to lose a few games. And now Adam Silver saying 60. Enough of that. Have you seen this new 3-2-1 model, and what do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty intriguing. It's a lot of layers. You wish it was simple, could be simplified. But I looked at it in depth yesterday, and I looked at it again this morning, and it's kind of interesting. There's a lot of different scenarios, I guess, but I don't know if it works. They want to expand the lottery now to 16, which would flatten the odds, so to speak, Scotty and Tim. Which means fewer draft ball lottery ping pong balls for some teams. And then I did like the fact they want to experiment with it, so they're going to only make it good until 2029, and kind of reevaluate the process. Look, what I want, and I think every fan wants, is just to go out and play ball. I mean, it's not real difficult, on how this thing can work itself out, but it's about the system and how you work the system and how the rules are implicated. And the other part of it, too, is there's kind of a gray area here that the league will continue to use their power. I'm not sure what the actual verbiage is, to fine teams if needed. Does that mean will they take draft picks out of the equation if this is, if it's overdone? That ought to be more clarified, in my opinion. But they say they're not going to allow teams to have the number one pick back to back. I mean, there's all sorts of language here, but you really have to take a deep dive into it to really get the true meaning and understanding of it. But man, it'd just be fun just to go out and play hoop, and then let the chips fall where they may. But that's not going to happen. If there's a wiggle, there's a way, right? And, you have to look at the Jazz. This isn't, why the Jazz are really pointed out this year. Everywhere we went, it was kind of the same conversation from every play-by-play and radio and television guys that I know, giving us, like, what are you guys doing? What are you thinking? Just for their own background info. And, we'd have some, open-ended talks about it. And, look, they don't like it either. They know their teams have to deal with it in some way as well on a given night. But, man, I can't tell you how many times I'll walk into an arena and some young kid would walk up to Big T and I. You can't miss T at 6'11", by the way, and thought he was James Worthy or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But they wanted to know who was playing. And when you say, no, they're not, and you go and they walk away with their dad or mom, it's like you could see so much disappointment, on their faces, whether it was home or away teams. And it happened on a nightly basis, especially after the All-Star break. It was, at times, we didn't know who the lineup was going to be until, late in the afternoon or by about 6 o'clock. And then you have to kind of make adjustments to the roster and who's actually going to play and who's not. But, yeah, I'm hoping that the Jazz are through this process. Look, where they land on May 10th on lottery draft night. I remember last year we talked about this. I walk in my office, sitting down, ready to go, and picking a number 5, the Utah Jazz. I thought, wow, all that. But hopefully that pick still plays into the future of the Jazz and Ace Bailey. Who we get this year, everyone's anxious to wait and see on what AJ, where he lands, where the kid from KU, Darren Peterson's going to land, and how about Cameron Boozer, Booze's son. Even though Duke lost in the NCAA tournament, I mean, there's still some great talent on that team, and we saw it last year with Cooper and Knippel too. So, it's going to be interesting to see if the Jazz pick for position or if they pick the best player available. And I think most likely it'll probably be the best player available. I don't know if they're in a position or want to be in a position just to pick a guard, a forward / defensive type of wing, but you never know. We'll see what they do.
Well, you said it, Bowler, the long and sometimes arduous rebuild hopefully has come to an end. And David's quick to say, and I think it's important, still everything's got to click. And, the guys got to stay healthy, and that's a big one. We see it in the playoffs right now, a bunch of guys that would be making a major impact for their teams not able to play. But in a perfect world, how excited are you to hit opening night with a clear path forward?
Well, I think that will help us in the booth and for the fan base to kind of know what and who is going to be in the rotation on a given night. The last 3 years, look, has it been a challenge? Absolutely. Have you seen growth? Absolutely. Does that help in the process? Yes. And those minutes, Tim, as you know, how do you get strong? You go to the weight room. You build muscle, right? Lift, rep, set. Okay. And you couldn't get a Bryce Sensabaugh or an Isaiah Collier or a Kyle Filipowski or even an Ace Bailey to develop in the way they have without having minutes. And that's what the Jazz did. I mean, they put Filipowski in, and he got his minutes. The same with Isaiah up until a point, right? And then you saw exactly what they were going to do, and that was sign a couple of 10-day contracts and, also take a look and who else is out there that could possibly be part of this roster. But the bottom line to it, in my opinion, is the Jazz evaluated. They've got what they wanted. Now they have to decide who stays, who goes, which is a really tough part about this business, but it's done every year. And it's also done at All-Star break, before the trade deadline. And so I think Jazz fans just want to be in concert with the front office and just say, okay, let's play. I mean, it's not tough it's difficult to rebuild, but I'll be honest, this fan base, and you guys have been at the arena, I'm still amazed of just the support that Jazz Nation gives the franchise through this process, because when we travel through the NBA and many teams are going through the same situation, there's nowhere near this type of support. Multiple seats are empty, and the moans and groans are quite resonate throughout the arena. So hats off to Jazz Nation for being there, and look how they're supporting the Mammoth right now. This city loves sports, and that's one thing I hope people who travel through here, they have to realize. I mean, the University of Utah on the Hill, BYU, my gosh, Sataki and the Cougars. You got NHL hockey now in the playoffs in their second year of existence in Salt Lake. I mean, it's really fascinating to me, and the fan bases are strong, and that's even another great prop, to all the fans that can make that transition from hockey to basketball. And what's next? Baseball? What's next? The National Football League? I'd say the Winter Olympics may open the door to some of that too in 34.
So you're a competitor, and knowing that the Nuggets have won a title, is it satisfying to see the door shut on that era of Nuggets basketball, and the fact that Rudy helped send them there?
Yeah, that's intriguing. I was thinking about that last night. I tell you, the Nuggets are quite an organization, and their fan base is pretty intense. This is going to stir the pot in the Mile High City on what to do next. And you always see conversation about, are they going to move Jamal while he still has value? And what do you do about the big man who's one of the most, talented players of all time? I mean, triple-double guy, come on. It's unreal. But how do you now go through the process after getting knocked out in round one by a 6 seed and Gobert, who really did make an impact in that series? And there's a lot of people that have love and hate for Rudy. I mean, he's a one-dimensional coach. I would say, yeah. But what he gives you on the defensive side is problematic for any team that takes on Gobert. I mean, that's why Kessler is somebody that's so intriguing because of his height and his left hand and the way he blocks shots. Is he an offensive juggernaut? No. But he still has the ability to take down offensive and defensive rebounds and puts the Jazz in good positions on both ends of the floor. So that's why it'll be intriguing to see if the Jazz will match an offer that may come their way this summer. But, yeah, Denver's going to have to retool. How quickly they can do that. Age plays a factor, right, Tim and Scotty? I mean, we see it.
Yeah.
You can hang on to a player too long. They talked about it in San Francisco with Steph. and the Warriors, and LeBron's jumped around, KD's jumped around, Harden's jumped around. Everyone's trying to find that last 1 or 2 years that a player still has left, and that they can use it to their best advantage. But now the Jazz may be one of the youngest, but also most athletic and talented teams in the league. Now they just have to experience it, like the Mammoth are right now. How do you win overtime games? Well, you have to go through the process. The next process for the Jazz, they've been through the losing part. I think they're going to enjoy putting some W's in the column, and moving ahead and understanding what it takes to be a champion.
Bowler, true or false? You told Scott Garrard to go to hell.
That's true.
Do we have the audio proof of that?
Yeah.
It was a bad day, but sometimes things.
I don't even remember what that was.
I want to know
about.
the backstory.
I don't remember what I may have.
Hey, Scotty.
Yeah.
Go to hell.
So, I don't remember what. I'm sure it was a very innocent, playful statement that I made that may have been misconstrued, and and so I'm not exactly sure what went down there. But I would never intentionally try to push you to the brink of saying something like that. Do you even remember
Scotty.
that?
You did. You did push me to the brink, and there it is, right there. Audio tells the tale. Honestly, I don't remember either. I think we were having some fun, and that's been a few years back. But maybe you said something about K-State. I don't know. It may have been a football-related comment, and I just said, Scotty, go to hell. And,
I don't think
then I hung up.
I don't think anything about the Chiefs would have got you there. It would have had to be the alma mater that gets you there. Yeah.
Well, hey, Bowler, in pure hockey fashion, because this is my skating mate. You go to hell, man. Right back at you.
Oh, man.
I got my guys back. Hey, I'm going to leave you with this. Coach Bear stood steady and calm while Keller brought Vegas great harm. With a snipe from the wing, he made Delta Center sing, and the Knights lost their swagger and charm.
Wow. That's impressive.
Did you pin that?
No, I had help from Allen Iverson.
Wow.
Little AI never stepped in. AI is always there to help you out. Huh?
He is. That's what they're talking about, right?
Not Iverson. Oh, AI.
Yeah, man.
I gotcha.
Hang with the young lads.
Well, what I always assumed Allen Iverson was on the other end of that computer, just banging out all that information.
Like, hey, he's busy.
Yeah, look at
everybody wants a piece of AI.
I mean, we called him the answer, so there you go.
Yeah, well, he gave you the answer, Timmy. I tell you what, that's poetic. Will it play out tonight? I know the crowd's going to be there. There's some tools in that chest, in that toolbox for the Mammoth to use, but it's been a fun series and a series of growth. I know fans don't want to hear that. They want to, hey, when you're in, you want to win it all. I get it, but there is still, Tim, as you know, there's still a process that you go through. It only makes this team better, right?
Yeah.
And to move a piece or two around and understand what they need, what a weakness is, what their strengths are. And I'll tell you one thing, they don't lack fan base.
No,
they do not.
Let's go, man. Come on, you got this tonight.
Let's do it. Bowler, I can't thank you enough, man. You're the best. I appreciate it, and we look forward to chatting with you again next week.
All right, Scotty. I won't say it. I'm just kidding.
Go to heaven.
How about this?
Go to heaven, bro.
He shoots and scores. Mammoth win. No, let's hope to get another win and push it back to Vegas. That'd be fun.
Let's do it. And then you and I, we'll all get in a vehicle. We'll all road trip down to Vegas and watch Game 7.
Bowler will have to be the sling guy because he's naturally got a sling. So you can be the hangover sling guy. Just grow your beard.
Yeah. I can drive one-handed, man. Don't worry about that.
Oh, I don't worry about you.
I'm not worried about that one bit. Bowler, thank you.
Okay, talk soon.
All right. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The Jazz, the Mammoth, and the Utes, Cougars, and Aggies. When it comes to sports in Utah, we've got you covered. This is Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Scotty G and the coach, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It is Game 6 tonight. The Mammoth and Golden State. There we go. Golden Warriors. Golden Knights, whatever. We'll call them whatever we want. The Golden, well, never mind.
Let's call them the Las Vegas because they
the
don't
Golden
like that.
Boys.
Yes. Jake and Ben had a chance to sit down with André Tourigny. Now, we played a little bit of that, a clip from that interview, and I want to hear more from Bear. I want to hear more of those analogies because he knocked it out of the park with talking about breaking glasses in the kitchen with his wife. So here is the head coach of the Utah Mammoth with Jake and Ben starting out with his recap of game number 5.
I think we played a really good game. That was a really intense game. So far, it's a hell of a series. Honestly, I think we know Vegas is a really good team, but our guys are playing really hard. We were able to early on in the series. We had a tough time to create some possession for us and some offense. I think we made some adjustment. I like the way we generate off our forecheck, off our in zone as well. Generate more time, more possession. So far, I think we progressed during the series. Obviously, we will have loved to win the last 2 games. We lost in overtime, but I think we're playing well and we're progressing. So really positive for the game 6.
How can you get more production from your team on the power play?
Yeah, that's an important one as well. It's not just a good point. It's a really important one. I think yesterday we have Dylan Gunter alone with the goalie. Once Cools has a rebound in overtime, almost went in. We had a few good one-timer from Aids and not Aids, but Gunter and Sergachev. Sometimes the puck go in, sometimes it's not. But we need to generate more possession off our breakout. I think they were able to apply a lot of pressure to us on our breakout, so that limit our possession in the offensive zone. And it's often a matter of volume. So if you do a better job on your breakout, that generates possession for your team. It generates more opportunity to have threat to the net. So we need to be a little bit better in those situations.
How do you do that? Because it seems to me as a novice when it comes to hockey that generating a breakout means the puck inevitably has to start in the D zone. So how do you do it without sacrificing ozone time? Yeah, but you don't want to have a breakout, but the fact is when they will recover the puck, they will clear the puck. So you want to have a shooting mentality in the power play. You want to have obviously attack the net and having chance. I think that said, when you do so, you won't recover every puck. So if they recover, they will clear the puck. They will. So now you need to be good on your breakout. What happens if you're not good on your breakout? Now you start to be hesitant at shooting the puck if it's not a quality shot because you're kind of okay. If we lose possession, they will clear the puck, and we have tough time to enter the zone. So you start to be hesitant in your decision, and that is where it compounds the problem and it snowballs. So you need to be really good on your entry, really good on your breakout. So then if you shoot pucks at the net and they recover pucks and they clear, it's not a big deal. You can reattack and you're coming. Yes, they gain sometimes. There's no doubt about it, but you're confident of being able to attack again. So I think that is a big thing on the power play is confidence, and confidence comes from a source. So when you're capable of creating enough possession, you have that confidence in you. You can, even if you make a mistake or even if it doesn't turn out the way you want, you will have a better look the next time, and so on and so forth. So we need to keep getting better at those things.
Ben and I have been talking for the past few days, actually, Coach, about reminding folks that the Golden Knights are really good. They are a really good team. They're Stanley Cup champions, obviously. And I'm sorry if this is a really obvious question, but what is it that they are doing, or what is it about them that makes them difficult to prepare for?
Well, I think at this time of the year, the preparation, the opponent has no secret for you. With the technology and everything is going on, you know exactly what they will do. I think they are good because they're mature, they have experience, they've been there, done that. They have good size and they have depth. If you look at just as an example, the Jack Eichel or Noah Hennepin and those guys were at the Olympics as well as Erdl or Stone, Marner. Shea Theodore. So they had 7 guys at the Olympic who were playing an important role. So they're a good team, but we're a good team too. We're a little bit younger. We have
players who are a little bit younger, but we don't have any complex. We're not looking at them and say, oh, wow, what a team. We're looking at them saying, hey, it's a good series. Whereas so far we're toe-to-toe with them. We had the lead 5 times in the third period, and that's probably something we need to tune in on and be a little bit better. Just to put things in perspective, it's not every time you have the lead you will hold the lead and you will win the game. As a matter of fact, it's 50% of the time in the NHL in the playoff the lead change. The team will win, come back from behind. So, but it's still a matter of fact. We need to be better in those situations. We need to have a little bit more poise. We need to be in control of our emotion and be able to challenge in those situations.
Along those lines, yeah, how do you get better when you have a lead in the third period? Do you just sit on the puck? Do you need to continue to be aggressive?
No,
what do you do?
Exactly. That's exactly what you cannot do. If you sit on it, if you sit on your lead, what happened? It's a simple math. If they have the puck, let's say 60-70% of the time, well, they will generate offense. Give us the puck 60 or 70% of the time, we will come back in the game too. So we need to be able to keep moving our feet, keep applying pressure on them, keep playing the same way. Yes, being careful in your decision with the puck, but not stopping to play with the puck and just flipping pucks out and stuff like that. So I think there's things we can do better, but those situations are pressure situations. Those situations are our guys are fully aware and they have the best intention, and we improve a lot during the season in those situations. We got much better. Now, having that said, we need to make the next step, and doing it when we're under hard pressure. When the playoff, it's another level. So our guys need to keep because at the end of the day, that moment is the moment you dream all your life. When you're a young player and whether your sports is basketball or hockey or whatever it is, you dream of that scenario when you're in overtime where you're up by one, down by one, you're at the end of a game or something like that on a playoff series, and you want to be in those moments. You dream of that. You go to bed at night and you dream to be that athlete who will make the difference. So when you're in that moment, you need to embrace those moments. You need to be proud of it, and you need to be excited by it, not fazed by it. So I think our guys did a good job, because the other thing I want to put in perspective is yesterday in the third period, after we took the lead, we gave up one scoring chance in this score. So it's not like, okay, we did not hold the lead. We gave up 6 scoring chance and they finally score, and we were not playing well. The guys were playing well. The guys, they fought. We made a mistake on their winning goal, no doubt about their tying goal, no doubt about it. But it's not like, okay, suddenly because we had the lead, we stopped playing and we did a bunch of wrong things. They had one chance and they put it in. So that's the game. That's hockey. That stuff will happen.
So now what is your message to the team now that they're facing an elimination game?
From day one, game one, or game whatever, game 2 to 5, our message haven't been different. What can we do about it's an elimination game, or it's game 7, or it's game. There's nothing we can do about that. What we can do, we need to focus on what's our job, how we have to play, how we have to manage our emotion, where we need to be mentally, we need to be present, we need to be focused on the moment, not focusing on the outcome or the result or what if. There's nothing we can do about that. We since I think the first period of game 4 at home against Vegas, we did not play the way we should have. Since then, we play really good hockey. We came back from a 3-goal deficit at home. We lost in overtime. Last game in Vegas, we played rock solid. We played a really good game. Okay, there's a few things we still need to clean up, which we're fully aware we will. And then now we keep getting better every game. So now we're going game 6 at home, and we'll focus on that game, and we'll get the job done. And then after we'll go for game 7 in Vegas. But there's a lot
There's a lot of when you're two tie in a series. Somebody obviously win Game 5. That doesn't mean the series is over. We're in the best of 3. We lost 1. We need to win the next 2.
I love it. Love it. Love hearing him talk. That is the head coach of the Utah Mammoth, André Tourigny, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Game 6 coming up tonight. You'll hear all the play-by-play action right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right, coming up next, folks, we will continue on getting you ready for what should be a really big game coming up tonight. In fact, we'll talk more coming up in about 15 minutes from right now, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Also, coming up a little bit later on as well, you're going to have a chance to win some tickets. So all you have to do is go to kslsports.com/, go to the contest page, and you can enter to win 2 tickets for tonight's game. Also, you can go check out Jake and Ben out on the plaza. They'll have a QR code you can scan there that will get you in the drawing. So we do have a pair of tickets to give away for tonight's Game 6. KSLSports.com is where you can enter to win those right now. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I'm here on the job site with Dale, who's a framing contractor.
Hey, good morning.
Dale traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance for all his business vehicles. We're here where he needs us most.
Yep, they sure are.
We make it easy for him to save on all his insurance needs, all in one place, with coverage that fits his business and bottom line. Oh, I shouldn't have looked down.
It's all right.
We're so far up here.
Look at me. Take a deep breath.
No, I'm good. So good.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. It feels good to Geico.
You're locked on to Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb.
Now I know y'all are tripping.
Presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Place is hopping. Come on down here. We are live in Linden at Next Gen Motors, 590 South State Street. So many great things going on down here, so make sure to stop by. We've got cookies from Crumble. We've got Chick-fil-A. We're going to have some Jurassic tacos coming down here in a bit. Lemon's going to bring out the big pair of scissors and ribbon cut a little bit later on as well. But the place is on fire, man. So come by and check out these vehicles.
I mean, those scissors are 6 feet. He told me he lost them. I can't imagine where he would have put them.
But
he'll find them.
He'll find them, yeah.
But he'll need someone else to help carry them out here. Those are big scissors.
Big old scissors ready to go. Mammoth coming up later on tonight. It is game number 6 at the Delta Center, and the place is absolutely going to be just electric, and can't wait to get here. This is going to be one of those games you're going to look at and just say, all right, this is kind of a defining moment of a young team. How do they respond in this kind of a situation? It'll be interesting to see. I fully anticipate with the electric atmosphere, I would be shocked if the Mammoth don't play well. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I would be shocked if they don't play very, very well tonight.
I'm going to say they're going to win. I'm just going to do it. I don't stake my reputation out there much, so certainly you can come at me if you need to, but I do feel like they're going to win tonight. And here's a little limerick, because I got a few of them prepared.
Oh, really? A limerick.
There once was a Logan Cooley on attack who flew like a train on the track. The Knights tried to chase but couldn't keep pace as he left their defense in the back.
Wow.
Regular Shel Silverstein right here.
That's pretty impressive, man. And the fact is, that was just during a commercial break. He put that together.
I mean, I guess I consider myself somewhat of a wordsmith.
Yeah, sheesh, man. That's very well done.
Thank you. I've got more, but I'll save them.
Yeah,
I'll
well,
just drop them here. And
I
there.
think you probably should pace yourself on this.
Pace yourself.
Yeah, like,
easy, Timmy.
Just we'll just kind of
work a couple in the bag. See, I'm getting coached. I like it.
Leave the people wanting more.
Don't gotta give it to them all at once.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The Jazz, the Mammoth, and the Utes, Cougars, and Aggies. When it comes to sports in Utah, we've got you covered. This is Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hope you're all having a tremendous day. We're all just waiting. We're all just baiting time until it is Game 6 coming up tonight. It is the Golden Knights against the Utah Mammoth in Delta Center. TV analyst for the Mammoth, kind enough to join us, Dom Moore. Dom, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you guys doing?
We are awesome. It's actually a good vibe Friday, and we're trying to use all the karma we can to help the boys.
I love it. Yeah, good vibes.
The one thing we've been talking about a lot is, the fact that this has been a really evenly played series, except for a couple of spurts here and there. And really it's about trying to execute a little better and tighten things up. But from your vantage point, what's your take on the series thus far, and what do the Mammoth need to do in your mind to win tonight?
Yeah, I mean, the ironic thing was that Game 5 was the best game that the Mammoths have played all series, and they lost. And so, it's interesting when you look at the series. Obviously, it's been as unpredictable as you'll ever see a series get. Lead changes, comebacks, right when you most expect something to happen, the opposite occurs. I mean, it's been crazy. But for Utah's money, they controlled the game in Game 5. I felt like Vegas really got what Utah gave them and not really much else. You couldn't say that about previous games. There were, the previous 4 games, there were long stretches of the game where Vegas dominated Utah, had the puck in Utah's zone for long stretches and was wearing Utah down. Pamelka had to hold down the fort. That was not at all the case in Game 5, and yet somehow Vegas won the game just from these little, lapses in focus, penalties being one of them, a couple of minutes at the end of the second period, giving up those 2 quick goals, giving up the lead at the end of the second period. Those were big moments that made all the difference in not coming out with a victory. So while that sounds like a negative, it, in a lot of ways, it should give Utah confidence that, they can control the game when they play their game and just play with a little bit more discipline and a little bit more focus in tiny moments. They should be able to take care of business. I think that gives them a little bit of confidence going into Game 6.
So you can't tell the story of this series without talking about power plays and Utah's inability to score on the power play, but they've been exceptional for the most part in penalty kills. So what is it that needs to happen for this power play to get some goals across? Because it just seems like it's been a frustrating issue for the Mammoth in this series.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the season in its entirety, the power play has been a point of frustration for most of the year. Utah, until the last month of the season, maybe the last 6 weeks of the season, was either dead last or second last in the power play for most of the season. And then all of a sudden, Cooley comes back from his injury, and they get red hot, down the stretch, which ended up being very important for Utah getting into the playoffs. Is, how many of those crunch time games they got a power play goal that made all the difference. And so going into the playoffs, they had great vibes on the power play. And then all of a sudden it's reared its ugly head again, where they just can't seem to buy one. So, I think the horses are there. The potential is there for them to break through. But this is a team that struggled with it all year. So, you just don't know whether all of a sudden they're going to find their mojo again on that or not. But, the flip side of it is that they've scored more goals than Vegas at 5-on-5. So, and they've been a great 5-on-5 team all season long, among the best in the league offensively and defensively, if you look at all the underlying metrics. So a big part of their success has to be stay out of the box, and try to keep the game at 5-on-5, because that plays to their advantage.
How do you feel like the young guys have handled their first playoffs? It felt like Keller got a little loose, a little more into a groove in Game 5. But overall, how have you felt like they've approached their time here in the playoffs?
I think regardless of the way tonight goes, there's a ton of positives in relation to the question you asked. If you look at it, okay, Logan Cooley, Dylan Guenther, the youngest guys on the team who never played in the playoffs, they've been amazing. Aside from, I would say, game 5 where Cooley got a little off his game, they were roughing him up, and he just kind of lost his emotions there for a little while. But by and large, both Cooley and Guenther have been excellent. They've showed that they can handle these big moments. They show that they're ready for the fight, the toughness that ramps up in the playoffs. And then the other three that I think everyone was wanting to see how they would respond are Krause, Schmaltz, and Keller. Krause has been lights out, elevated his game beyond where it was in the regular season. I think anyone who knows Lawson Krause maybe isn't surprised, but he hadn't had a lot of playoff experience. He never played a home playoff game before this year. He's been awesome. I think, Keller, Game 1, Keller and Schmaltz, Game 1 was a struggle. They were mostly, invisible because they just were overwhelmed by the pace of the game, the lack of time and space to make plays. But to their credit, especially Keller, I think he's been amazing since then. I think his ability to adapt and adjust his game, he's a guy that the critics would say is not built for this time of year, but he is amazed and impressed me in a big way with how he's responded. And the key is that he's become so good at making plays in tight spaces and without a lot of time. And yes, he doesn't have the size, but if you can excel in making outstanding plays when you have a split second to make it, and time is closing down on you, then you can still excel at this time of year. And he has done that. He has been amazing in my view.
How would you grade out Veggie throughout this series?
Excellent games 1 through 4. Excellent throughout those. Better numbers than he had in the regular season. Game 5, he was good, and he made a couple spectacular saves at key times, including 2 breakaways. And so, like on that side of the ledger, you're like, wow, he really stepped up. But then there was a couple moments in Game 5 where he dipped a little bit. And the one was the Theodore goal that was not screen shot from out pretty far, just missed it. And then the goalie exchange there right before that was just a little sloppy as well. So, I think he's played a lot of hockey. Maybe there's some fatigue there, especially when you get to these overtime games that would be fully justified given how much he's carried the load for the team all season. But for the most part, he's held up his end of the bargain, and I think everyone in Utah is hoping for a bounce back from him tonight.
Just so 3 series yet to be decided in the first round. Obviously, the Mammoth tonight, which we all know that's going to go Game 7, right? I mean, it's good Vibe Friday.
Yes,
so
sir.
We got to think that way. Give me your opinion on the Bruins and the Sabres series, and then the Lightning and the Canadiens. You think both of those can get finished out by the team with the advantage?
Boy, that's a good one. These playoffs have been so amazing in terms of, like, you've got all these new teams in the playoffs that haven't been there for a while. Anaheim, Buffalo. Anaheim defeats the 2-time Stanley Cup defending finalists. The greatest player in the world is eliminated. I mean, what a great story in Anaheim. Montreal, this young upstart team, who I think in a lot of ways is very similar in their rebuild to Utah. They have the juggernaut Lightning on the ropes, and who knows which way that one will go. But either way, it's been exciting to watch. And then, of course, the Sabres have the Bruins, but the Bruins seem to be picking up steam. So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see both of those series go 7. I would love nothing more than to go back to Vegas and see the first Game 7 in Utah Mammoth history.
Bear mentioned at Morning Skate that there were some game time decisions. Hayton was able to get out on the ice in Game 5. I think he is still listed as game time. And then Jack McBain seems like he's getting closer. I don't know if he'll be able to go tonight, but if he is, what does that mean to that lineup for the Mammoth?
Well, we'll see. We'll find out. But, yeah, McBain's been a huge loss. When you think about, how physical and big and heavy the Vegas Golden Knights are, not having McBain in, who's, pretty healthy antidote to that, has been a big loss for André Tourigny when he looks down his bench and doesn't see number 22. I mean, he does so much for the team, not just in terms of his physical play, but he kills penalties. He wins faceoffs. He balances out the lineup to a degree that allows André Tourigny to have more flexibility with how he deploys his lines versus the Vegas lines. Like that cat and mouse game is really important in playoffs, the way the coaches, match up their lines. And I think that Andre's been a little bit handcuffed in that regard, not having Hayton and McBain available. So we'll see what happens tonight, one way or the other. If McBain or Hayton do play, we know that they're not 100%. It's just a matter of what they can bring to the table to help the team.
What's been your experience like at Delta Center for the playoff games? We kind of knew what everybody was in for because we've lived here a long time, and the playoffs just bring it on the ice, but also in the stands. But speak about the kind of the home ice advantage and how that could play an effect or have an effect. Sorry.
Yeah. And obviously, I've been around the league and played over 100 playoff games in different environments, and so I've seen it all. And there's something special about the Delta Center. And I think when I try to put my finger on what it is, I think it's just the oneness, the unity that you have in that building because of how steep it is on all sides. It just feels more intimate than anywhere else. And there's places like, Montreal, the Bell Center in Montreal has an incredible atmosphere. It's the biggest arena in the league. Most fans, you can feel it there, but it's a different feel in Utah just because of the intimacy of how together everyone feels in the Delta Center, and it's been amazing to be a part of it. I think everyone that's been at any of these playoff games so far has felt that, and I expect it to go to another level tonight for Game 6 when the stakes are even higher and the energy around the state has never been like this for this team. So excited to be a part of that.
All right, so Dom, before we let you go, write the script for me. Utah wins this game tonight if ... You finish the sentence there.
Let's see. If they stay out of the penalty box,
yeah,
that was a key in the last game. I think just channeling their emotions, because there's going to be a lot of emotions, energy from positive or negative. That you got to be able to channel that energy into a good way. So I would say penalties, and then they have to get off to a good start, and that was not the case in both of the previous home games. So that's probably the other key, is getting off to a good start.
Is there like a goal? I mean, like 6 minutes or 8 minutes. Like if you're at that number or under, that's an acceptable number because there will be penalties. I've got to imagine. Is there an acceptable amount, or is it just like, hey, let's keep it at 0?
I think the impetus is to try to keep it at 0, knowing that there's going to be a couple calls that you just, sometimes there's a penalty you have to take, or you're making a good aggressive play and just there's a bad luck situation. It's the ones where, you're retaliating for something and losing your cool. That kind of penalty is not acceptable when the margins are as small as they are.
Well, we appreciate your time. Have a great call tonight. You guys have killed it all season long. Can't wait to catch the game. But Dom, again, we appreciate you taking a moment out of your day to hang out with us.
My pleasure, guys. Yep. Enjoy the game.
There he is. Dom Moore, TV analyst for the Utah Mammoth, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I've learned some good hockey from Dom this year.
Yes.
Does a great job, and he mentioned it. He's been in a ton of these situations himself, so the hockey has been great. It's been great league-wide, a lot of intriguing series.
There's no doubt. And that's, one thing that's been a byproduct of watching the Mammoth, especially in these playoffs, is now I'm watching all the playoff games. If it's on, I'm watching it. Actually,
Above
probably
the
more
NBA?
than the
Yeah.
NBA playoffs. Never thought I'd say that before, but wow.
No, I know. I'm actually feeling the same way. Last night I was like, what am I going to – I'm going to watch a little hockey.
Yeah, like what's on? And that's how my boy is the same. We watch a lot of sports together, and he's like, hey, is there a hockey game on? I'm like, well, the Mammoth aren't playing. He's like, I don't care. I want to watch some hockey.
Absolutely.
Like, all right, let's go. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Time to spin the wheel and talk some sports. This is Sports Roulette on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
You know what? Look, we get evaluated on a lot of things because we say, at least I say a lot of dumb things, and Lloyd will keep track of it. But now Lloyd's commenting on how our behavior is on camera, and now you can go on YouTube and you can check out the show there at KSLSports.com as well. But if you go to YouTube, just search KSL Sports, and you'll get a live video feed of the show. And so now not only is Lloyd chastising us for how we sound, it's also how we look and how we're presenting ourselves on camera. So
you guys just sat at the exact same time. It was kind of weird. It was just kind of strange.
Look,
what we're working on is there's going to be a new event in the Olympics. It's
synchronized seating?
Synchronized co-hosting. And so it's just basically two guys that work together, one pulling the other along. And, yeah, if you can synchronize, you get extra points. And we did. We sat down together. That was cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it. But at the same time, we're standing up talking to people.
Yep.
We're coming back on. It's probably natural to sit down.
I mean, we heard the music on. It was time to sit, start a show.
If we would have kept standing, what are you standing for?
Lloyd was, when I was doing a show solo a couple of weeks ago, Lloyd was sending me screenshots of what I was looking like on the camera. He's like, you got to tighten this up, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
All right.
When?
Yeah,
I don't know about that one.
You thought I lifted up my mic once, and you're like, hey, put your mic down. You look stupid. I'm like,
I don't know if it was that hard. I don't know if it was that bad. And
rough,
Coach,
man.
you need to stop adjusting your mic.
Do I do it all the time?
A little bit.
It's a habit.
It's a habit.
Yeah.
And you manhandle
I'm
it
gonna
too.
get it where I don't
Coach
okay,
Coach Witt thinks you're a little rough on the headset.
He was the guy that snapped it.
Snapped it right in half. Just whack.
Okay, I'm not going to touch my mic the rest of the show.
All right. We got a bunch of stories on the roulette wheel, so let's fire it up. Let's spin that wheel. Again, if you're just new to the show, Sports Roulette, we take some of the big storylines, we put it on a roulette wheel, we spin it, and wherever that little white ball lands is what we end up talking about. So, Lloyd, let's get to it.
Show me a new home for a new cougar.
All right.
Or for a former cougar, excuse me.
There we go. Garrard Davis leaving BYU in the transfer portal, and now is going to the Show Me State. He's going to Missouri to play in the SEC. How much of a loss is this for the Cougars?
No, I think they've addressed that position probably in a little better way. He struggled to be consistent shooting the three. I liked his toughness, but I do feel like they can, with Chandler, getting Chandler, as a guy that can really shoot out on the wing, will help them. But I wish him the best, and it's going to be that in this age of college basketball. You get an 8-month visit, and then for a lot of those guys, show me the next spot.
That's, honestly, an 8-month visit's about right.
No, it is. It is. That you only get 48 hours to decide if you want them for 8 months.
Yeah, exactly. So Garrard Davis on his way to playing for Missouri. He made that announcement on social media just a few moments ago. All right, Lloyd, spin it.
Do you really care?
All right, I know I'm going to anger some people out there. People really, really love horse racing, and they really love the Kentucky Derby. I've tried. Locke tried to get me into how to bet the ponies a little bit about a decade ago. Look, I'm always down for a good wager here and there. I just can't seem to wrap my brain around horse racing. It's never been something I've been really overly fired up about. It's never been anything I've never really tried to watch or spend a lot of time watching. I know some people absolutely love it, but I know it's a big event coming up this weekend. I probably will not be watching that.
Yeah, I'm actually I pick by the name of the horse, and I don't spend any time. They say, they say the thing starts at 4:00, and about 5:15 they get done with the pomp and circumstance. They actually get those babies in the starting gates and go. I have a really good buddy that's really into quarter horse racing and breeding, and so I've actually that's something I've actually been able to kind of go see really close and get down, on the grounds and see. But I did walk the Kentucky Derby. I was out in Louisville recruiting, and I'm glad I went out and actually walked around Churchill Downs. I typically pick the horse by name, and so I'm just perusing the name right now, and the odds have to kind of add up too. But I'm going to go with Further Ado.
Further Ado.
In honor of you.
Without further ado, Lloyd.
That being said,
let's.
And it's 6-1.
6. That's not bad.
If you guys want to look it over and pick yours, we could have a.
All right, hold on. Let's see what. Right to Party.
Well, that's scratched. That was going to be mine.
He's out.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was my first.
Because I was going to say with Party
Commandment.
House.
That's kind of.
Commandment. Wow.
You seem very.
The Puma getting 10-1 odds.
Wonder Dean, Incredibolt, Chief Wallaby.
That's it. That's my guy.
Chief Wallaby.
Or at least that's my horse.
All right.
Chief
and he
Wallaby.
is an 8-1.
8-1.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little Dan and Bourbon.
Ooh.
What odds you getting there?
14,
yeah, what are your
14-1.
Ooh.
Okay.
You can cash in.
Well,
pretty
you will
good
you'll take it if you win, but we'll see if any of us can win, place, or show. Then we got some watching fodder.
See, now
that's always more fun.
Now we've got something to pay attention to. All right, Lloyd, spin it.
Who moves on tonight?
All right, so not only do you have a Game 6 for the Utah Mammoth, you've got 3 Game 6s in the NBA with 3 teams leading 3-2. So I'm going to go through each one of these games. You tell me, out of these 3, who closes out their series tonight. Orlando leads Detroit 3-2. Is this one going to go 7?
It will go 7. Pistons win tonight.
Pistons will win, force a Game 7, try to avoid the massive upset there. Although, honestly, you look at them on paper and you look at the talent the Magic have, maybe we shouldn't be so surprised by this one.
No, the reason the Magic have 45 wins is injury.
Yeah.
Jake and I last 2 years have been watching them, and where they're at full strength, they're scary. And their guys are young guys, like Anthony Black has blossomed and gotten better. But no, that'll be a fun one. I just feel like the Pistons winning that many games this year, I think they can they can get it to a Game 7.
It will be on the road. It is in Orlando, so Orlando's going to try to close out at home and knock off the Pistons. If Detroit can win, they'll shift it back to Detroit for game number 7. All right, so Cleveland on the road. They're up 3-2 against the Raptors. I'm going to say Cleveland closes out tonight.
And I'm going to say the Raptors, too.
Nice.
Not close out, but they keep it going.
Keep it going for game 7.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just feel like, Donovan has not shot the ball well in this series. Last game, Harden kind of bailed him out. But I just think the Raptors, and the crazy part to me is Emmanuel Quickley is so important to this Raptors team, and he hasn't played at all in this series and won't. So the fact that the Raptors are keeping it close, they're doing it with Jamal Shed and young guys kind of filling in at that point guard spot. But I think they've got enough toughness, and it's in Toronto tonight. Crazy things happen in Canada. Toronto makes that go game 7.
Going to have some Tim Hortons and extend this series out a little bit.
Give me a Horton, eh?
My brother's drunk, eh? By the way, Toronto, beautiful city.
I want to go. I'm jealous that you.
Well, I was only there for 16 hours.
I mean, you kind of saw it, right?
Yeah, I flew in.
Saw it maybe a block.
The day of the game, watched the game, and then was out at 5 a.m. the next morning.
And didn't you say it was like frigid cold?
Oh, it was ridiculously cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the closest I got to, we went to Niagara Falls. It's a great story, in fact. We played Buffalo up there.
Oh, really?
And we played them in Buffalo, but Coach Rose, his wife, liked to go on trips, and she wanted to go stay, in Niagara Falls. So we ended up staying on the Canadian side. And so on game day, the Border Patrol was very, very lengthy in their search of our bus.
Oh, okay.
And was pushing our time of getting to the school on time to get everything ready. So it was just kind of it was one of those moments. Everybody's sitting in the bus like, why did we go to Canada? But it was awesome. But I get cold because it was freezing. I got out there by the falls in the wintertime. Whoa.
Well, and the other thing, too, everybody thinks the Canadians are all crazy polite, and the majority they are, until it comes to coming back in from the, coming in and out of the country. They tighten it up pretty quick.
Tighten it up, but hey, man, they should.
Yeah. All right, and finally, the Lakers up 3-2 against the Rockets. That game in Houston. Does this series end tonight?
Yes.
All right, so that's the one you're going to say closes out.
Yes, and nothing. I know the Rockets won last game, but nothing they've done really this series has given me much to think that they're able to beat the Lakers. And LeBron, hey, man, you got to give him his flowers at his age to be able to continue to kind of drag a team along while Luka's on the bench. Pretty cool.
LeBron was asked the proverbial, what do you take on the argument, LeBron versus Jordan? And he's like, I don't even want to talk about this, 2 different eras. And yes, I don't think there is a more ridiculous argument than trying to compare those two. Who's the greatest of all time?
No, it's a hard one. And you know what ends up happening is everybody just goes to their generation.
Exactly. I was on a bus, a Utah State bus, either going to a game or coming back from a game. And I saw one of the nastiest verbal arguments I've ever seen between an assistant coach and a player, and it was LeBron versus Jordan. And it's like, of course, the young guy took LeBron, the old guy took Jordan, and it's just like, and they tried to drag me in the middle of it. I'm like, I want no part of this because you're both right. They're both the GOATs, just of different eras. I mean, it's fine. One doesn't have to be below the other. One doesn't have to be above the other.
No, they do.
No, they don't.
Do.
Lloyd.
Not on Good Vibe Friday, Lloyd.
I imagine,
save it for Monday.
Are you going Jordan, Lloyd, then?
Of course.
Well, I picked Jordan, too. If I'm up against it. But the crazy thing is when you roll out what LeBron, like his hardware, it's staggering.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
and look
staggering.
at the teams he put together. Yeah.
Okay. All right, see, look, we're not doing this. No, don't drag
Not on Friday, Lloyd.
Don't drag me into this, Lloyd.
But I will say, like, I grew up hearing, from my dad how great the Big O was.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right? And Wilt. And so you are going to be partial to your let's just put it this way. They're both really super good. Super, super good.
Yeah. And the fact that he's going as, putting together as long as he has and everything that's gone into it has just been fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. All right. There you go. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Coming up next, we'll wrap this thing up, set the stage for Jake and Ben. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.